Yo guys, what is up? C-Ray back with another video, and today we're going to go through the best beginner exercises that you can learn in calisthenics if you're just starting off and if you want to really improve fast. So the things that we're going to focus on are firstly going to be balance, and we're also going to go into strength-based training too. Another thing that we're going to look at in this video is going to be control. Most of calisthenics involves control over your body, and so this is such an essential part that we need to look into with these exercises. And the last thing we're going to look at is functionality, and we're going to incorporate all of these four things into my explanation of each exercise. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we do any exercises, it is so important and pivotal that you warm up, because calisthenics does take its toll on the body. Even though there is no weights, you still have to warm up as if you were lifting them. Okay, so we're going to go into the first exercises that all beginners should be doing, and that is going to be push-ups. I'm going to give you guys some important tips for each exercise, and the first tip in this exercise is to make sure you're keeping a straight body. Make sure to keep it as straight as possible, do not bend it. Obviously, it's going to take time to get the perfect alignment with your body, but when you do get it, it's going to make all the difference, and you're going to feel it a lot more in your chest because it's going to enable you to feel the contraction. To make sure that you have a straight body and you're not looking like this, you want to make sure that you're tensing your core, your legs, and also your glutes, so that you can keep that straight alignment and you can perform the perfect and the proper push-up. So again guys, do not slouch and make sure you keep a straight body. Another thing that you want to be doing guys is making sure that you're protracting your scapula at the top of the rep. As you can see in this series of clips, I'm protracting my shoulders, and if you don't know what that is, then I recommend that you look it up, and also I will make videos on this, so do not worry. My last important tip is to keep your elbows tucked. Do not flare them guys, because this could cause potential injury in your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, and it's just not going to be good for your overall strength and muscle gain. I see a lot of people at the gym, or just in general when they're working out, they flare their elbows out, and this is just not going to be good for your joints guys. You want to make sure that you're keeping them tucked as much as possible. Obviously they don't have to be super tucked and against your body, but try to tuck them as much as possible, and this is going to give you the best chance in achieving proper form and not getting any injuries. And then once you get all that together guys, you're going to be able to do the perfect push-up, and you're going to be able to progress a lot faster in calisthenics. Okay, so the next exercise that I'd recommend you learning is the headstand, and this is kind of controversial because it doesn't involve a lot of strength, but it does involve a lot of coordination, and that's why I'm going to give you some important tips to perform it, and learning this skill will help you a lot with future exercises such as the handstand in the future. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're practicing on a wall, because it is actually difficult to balance at first, but eventually you will get the balance, especially if you do use a wall. Also, you want to be keeping a straight body position. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but I did want to mention that just in case. You also want to be trying different leg movements, because you're going to get an idea of what it feels like when you do different leg movements with the handstand, and if you want to progress towards more intermediate to advanced calisthenics exercises in the future. And that is why this is such a good beginner calisthenics move that I'd recommend you trying if you're starting to get into the sport. Okay, so we're going to get onto the legs, which is not a specialty in calisthenics, but you can do squats for calisthenics, and this is probably the main exercise. Obviously there are so many different variations, but we're going to go into regular squats here, and we're going to focus on that. So obviously you want to be keeping your knees parallel to your glutes. In this video here I'm doing explosive squats, but these points and tips apply to squats in general. You also want to be keeping your core tight, making sure that you're tensing with each rep, and also with this variation you want to be exploding up as fast as possible guys. Unfortunately, from a calisthenics perspective, we do need to train legs, and so I recommend you doing squats if you're just starting out. Alright, so next we're going to move into the core a lot more, and we're going to go into leg raises. And these are such a great exercise for getting that core strength to a good level, and also just growing them abs in general. The first important tip that I have for you guys is to make sure that you grip the bar slightly wider than your shoulders, otherwise it's going to be pretty hard just to hang there, and you want to make sure you have the best chance in hanging there for as long as possible so that you can actually perform the exercise. Also, for beginners, you want to be making sure that you're starting off with your knees bent, doing knee raises instead of leg raises, and then eventually you can build up to the full leg raises. With each rep, you want to be engaging your core, and you want to be keeping your knees or your legs controlled throughout the whole movement. And the last exercise that we're going to get into is going to be rows, or bodyweight rows for that matter. Important tips to keep in mind on bodyweight rows is to make sure that your body is straight, and also you want to be engaging that core on each rep. Another great tip is to make sure that you're pulling your chest towards the bar and making sure that your elbows are behind your back as you come to the top of the rep. That's when you know you're doing it correctly. You also want to be gently lowering yourself down towards the starting position, and this is what's going to give you the best chance in making sure you're contracting that whole back area and that you're growing your strength and your muscle through each rep. And if you guys don't control the rep, then you're just not going to see great results, so I'd recommend that you definitely practice doing this. Before we end the video, guys, I want to make sure you know that there are so many different and great beginner exercises that you can do if you're starting calisthenics, so don't think that those are the only ones you can do. Each exercise I've picked involves learning the skills that I mentioned in the intro of the video, and so you can really learn about body control with the balance aspect of things with the headstand, and you can also learn about contraction with the leg raises. For control, I included the bodyweight rows just to give you an introduction into controlling your body, and for the functionality aspect, I included the squats because there are so many different variations of squats, and it is probably one of the most used exercises in all training styles. And last but not least, to bring it back full circle, I included push-ups last for strength, which do help a lot with calisthenics in general. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, make sure to like and also subscribe for more daily calisthenics and fitness content. I love all you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.